coffee beans, and it started out as a coffee bean store right here at Pike. By 1985, the three men that started Starbucks sold the company. In 1992, Starbucks was big enough to be on the New York Stock Exchange. SBUX is their symbol. They have 30.5% of the market share in the coffee retail industry. They have a market cap of $90.5 billion. It's the largest coffee chain, and it's 7 times larger than any one of its competitors. The name Starbucks came from the first 3 original entrepreneurs, and they loved the book Moby Dick, and one of Moby Dick's first mate's name was Starbuck, and that's how Starbucks' name began. In 1981, Howard Schultz became the CEO of Starbucks. By 1983, he traveled to Italy and had his first coffee bar experience. It was so incredible for him. He wanted to bring that back home and turn Starbucks into the Starbucks experience it is today. As you see here, the Starbucks logo, it's a deep green with 2 tails, and the green symbolizes growth, freshness, uniqueness, and posterity. And the original Starbucks creators wanted to recreate the coffee trade on the high seas, and they gave it the whole nautical theme to represent that. By 1996, Starbucks entered a joint venture with PepsiCo, and it's a 50-50 venture. And what they began doing is selling ready-to-drink coffees in the supermarket. So this is where all of the double shots, the cans, the cups, or the glass bottles of Starbucks come from. Is PepsiCo is in a joint venture with Starbucks, and now PepsiCo is marketing Starbucks Creamer that you can pick up in any convenience store or supermarket. In 2018, Starbucks partnered with Nestle, and what they did is they began packaging dry coffee for grocery stores, and mainly the K-Cups. The K-Cups have become a staple in many American homes. In 2003, Starbucks bought Teavana, which is a bottled tea company, and began selling those into their stores. And they also bought their competitor right here in Seattle. And Seattle's Best Coffee became a subsidiary of Starbucks in 2003. Starbucks also purchased the company Ethos Water. And Ethos Water is part of the Starbucks mission to give back to their community. For every bottle of Ethos Water, 5 cents is given to humanitarian causes in the farming communities where their Arabica coffee is served. Starbucks entered an agreement with Princi out of Milan to serve in their Starbucks Reserves stores. Starbucks is run in a matrix organizational structure. So it starts with the CEO, which in 2015 became Kevin Johnson. And from Kevin Johnson, it goes to the Vice President of Marketing, the Vice President of Finance, and the Vice President of HR. And from each of those Vice Presidents, it branches off into Americas, Asia, and South America. So that HR is over 3 different divisions. The finance is over 3 different divisions. And the marketing department is over 3 different divisions. Here we are outside of the Starbucks Reserve Roastery. For my research, my primary resources for qualitative research were the Starbucks app, in-store, Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram. primary sources for quantitative work were data collection from the Starbucks internal activities, on the Q10, the 10K, and the Starbucks website. Secondary data was gathered through the SEC, the Security Exchange Committee, the U.S. Census, the Bureau of Economic Affairs, the FDA, USDA, Statista, and IBIS World. Other secondary sources that I used for the marketing plan were other secondary sources that I used to compile data online were MediaPost, Yahoo Finance, Investopedia, Workforce, Microtrends, Forbes, and Bloomberg. Starbucks has many strengths. It's a very strong brand. Their first strength is their brand image. Their brand image stands for their corporate social responsibility and their devotion to community. The second strength is engagement. I'm thinking. Okay, I got it wrong here. Let's start it over.
Starting over.
This probably go by. Starbucks' first strength is their brand. Their brand image is the most recognizable image in the world. The image stands for corporate social responsibility, community, engagement, and without the name, the Starbucks, even without the name, the Starbucks logo is recognizable. Starbucks dominates 30.5% of the coffee house market. Their second strength is their supply chain. They work backwards from the bean to the cup. They only source fair trade coffee beans. They've also developed partnerships with Nestle and PepsiCo. The next strength is economies of scale. Because it's such a large corporation, it achieves economies of scale, which is a cost advantage to them. It spreads out their cost over time. The next strength is strategic planning. Starbucks plans where each of its retail stores is located, mainly in urban and suburban areas. They focus on aesthetics and customer service. The next strength they have are places like the Starbucks Reserve, where we're at now. There's 1,500 Starbucks Reserves, and in the Starbucks Reserve, they roast their coffee, they fresh bake their goods, they have a variety of items such as pizza, spaghetti, lasagna, wine, beer, specialty cocktails, espresso over ice cream, and many other delicious treats. It has a different kind of premium coffee, and you can also order a flight of coffee where it's roasted in 3 different ways. Another strength is their digital relationships. Starbucks works hard to have a relationship with its customers through their Starbucks app, and they use the app for artificial intelligence. It has the ability to know what the consumer wants. If it's hot out, they can push cold drinks. If they haven't been active for a while, they can push a notification to remind the customer to order their favorite drink. The app also allows them to have sweepstakes they just walked into a store. Another strength for Starbucks is their human resource capabilities. They leave no one behind, and they treat their employees like family. They offer 401k, stock options. They offer free online education, full degrees, full tuition through the University of Arizona. They get medical insurance. So each employee not only is fully trained, but they're happy. And when Starbucks employees are happy, so are their customers. The last strength they have is partnering in alliances. They have subsidiary branding with Seattle's Best Coffee. They have subsidiary branding with Evolution Fresh. They offer their products in hotels, on airlines, in large firms and small firms. Seattle's Best Coffee is offered in Burger King and Subway, which helps compete with one of its upcoming competitors, McDonald's. Starbucks' weaknesses are its food items. They come in frozen. They're not fresh. Every Starbucks retail location, except for places like the Reserve, products are brought in frozen and defrosted the night before. Another weakness they have is their milk products. Milk products are not organic. They're serving fair trade coffee, the best coffee you can get from Arabica beans, and they're putting regular milk in. The milk is LGBT free, hormone free, but it's not organic. And a latte can contain 75% milk, which is 8 to 12 ounces of milk and 1 to 2 ounces of coffee. Another weakness are the fact that they only have one single origin organic milk product to put into their coffees, and that's their coconut. The only non-dairy item they serve is organic. The fourth weakness is the high premium price that Starbucks charges for its quality coffee. It limits the affordability of some people, and competitors like McDonald's take away customers. The fifth weakness is it's easy to imitate. Coffee shops, pop-up coffee shops can imitate Starbucks coffee and cater to local customers. The last weakness that they have is their generalized standards for offering coffee. It doesn't allow for much localization for the community that they're in. Opportunities in the coffee retail industry are espresso-based coffees like lattes and premium cold brew and nitro coffees are going to be growing in the industry. The second opportunity is single-serve K-Cups. With high profit margins, they're expected to grow significantly because customers are moving away from their drip coffee machines and turning to Keurigs. The third opportunity is grocery stores, warehouses, and convenience stores are starting to increase their gourmet coffee selections and their shelf space. The fourth opportunity is in the next 5 years, coffee houses will start tailoring to local consumers' needs and to connect them with their culture and their history. The fifth opportunity is in the ready-to-drink market. Coffee sales have reached 42.36 billion by. The fifth opportunity is in the ready-to-drink market, where coffee sales are expected to reach 42.36 billion by 2027. The sixth opportunity is expansion into developing markets. European consumers drink 33% of the world coffee. Asia and Oceania consumers drink 22% of the world coffee. Latin America drinks 20% of the world coffee. Opportunities exist in all of these markets. Kombucha is another market opportunity. It's a fermented tea. The compound growth rate year over year or over the next year is 19.7%. It's a simple process to make. It takes a SCOBY, Starbucks tea, sugar, and water. It ferments and becomes a delicious drink and an alternative to carbonated soft drinks. Starbucks' threats are the low cost and capital to start up a drive-through coffee house. Another threat are low crop yields of coffee beans, and that drives up the price of coffee and reduces consumer demand. The second threat for Starbucks is The second threat to the industry are low crop yields of coffee beans. Low crop yields drive up coffee prices, reducing consumer demand. The third threat is consumers turning to instant coffee over espresso, and that lowers the demand for coffee in the industry. Another threat is that social media doesn't reach every age group. So a lot of opportunity is missed if you only use social media. The fifth threat is competition with low-cost sellers like fast food chains as they enter the market. The sixth threat to the industry is disease in the coffee crops themselves. When disease happens, there's less crop yield. Some other threats in the coffee supply are decreased demand due to the pandemic, a shortage of workers in the coffee bean farms, in growing regions stoppage of shipments due to the pandemic. Growers are beginning to stockpile coffee, waiting for the price to go up. The last threat to the industry is the last threat to the industry is the high calorie content of coffee. As consumers become more and more health conscious, they're going to look for healthy alternatives.
Okay.
The strategies my marketing plan is going to implement are first by penetrating the existing market through a new offering of whole organic milk. We'll return a weakness into an opportunity. Goals and objectives are to partner with a sustainable supplier. Advertise the offering as an upgrade by pushing the opportunity through the app and personal selling, and tracking progress through technology. Strategy elements are marketing penetration by creating a strategic advantage. A pricing strategy will be to trade up through an add-on at a rate of 50 cents per unit. Implementation issues are creating a supply chain and training staff to upsell. The next product strategy is increasing app usage by using market penetration through an increase in the Starbucks app to capitalize on our strength in technology and human resources. Goals and objectives are to exploit our advantages in human resources, personal selling capabilities, tracking progress through technology. Strategy elements are market penetration and strategy elements are marketing penetration, complementing our performance-driven strategy. Pricing will not change, however, access to an additional 14.8 million users can potentially raise profit by $390 million. Implementation issues are marketing and training staff and personal sales. The next strategy I plan to implement is using a market extension strategy. We're going to capitalize on a missed opportunity in lower class neighborhoods, turning a weakness into an opportunity. Goals and objectives are to have the executive team strategize to find locations in urban areas. Then implement plans for small-scale stores to capitalize on brand strength, including quarterly analysis to determine profit or divestment. Strategy elements are product expansion into a 21.9 million underserved community of coffee drinkers in low-income areas. Lower acquisition costs will offset a slight price decrease in these areas. Implementation issues are market analysis, real estate investment, human resources, training, and utilizing the supply chain. The next product strategy is utilizing the line extension strategy into the kombucha brew on tap. It can allow us to be first in the market in the coffee chain industry. Currently, no coffee chains carry kombucha on tap. The goals and objectives are to research potential profit and capitalizing on brand equity. We can consider purchasing the Kavita brand from PepsiCo with our financial leverage. Then, innovate research and development into kombucha brew and submit evidence to the board of directors. Strategy elements are creating a new line extension into kombucha, brewing on tap. We'll use prestige pricing, capitalizing on high quality and brand value. Implementation issues are capital cost, supply chain, human resources, and personal selling of the kombucha. The last product strategy I have is a global extension strategy to capitalize on the largest coffee market by expanding into the Scandinavian countries. It exists as a lucrative opportunity. Goals and objectives are to complete research and immersion into the culture for optimal brewing preferences. Then evaluate our strength in the supply chain and roasting capabilities in the region. We will then need to build brand equity by partnering with airlines and hotels to capture customer value. Strategy elements are global expansion with premier pricing, capitalize on quality and value. Implementation issues are capital expenditure, research and development, human resources, and training. Thanks for being patient with me.